On the stage, these are the people that make it possible for us to keep the prices down for the weekend. If you want to give everybody up there a round of applause, it's how we make it affordable for the whole community. New corporate sponsors this year, Happy Hippie and Blue Lube. They are new corporate sponsors. Tumbleweed is a new corporate sponsor. And we just had a lot of people step it up this year, bringing us better and better music and keeping prices down for all of you. So thank you to the sponsors. They're wonderful people. Speaking of wonderful people, we have one up on the stage. Jeff Troxel, everybody.
Where the water tastes like summer wine, and the sky is bright with blue and gold. Birds are singing for the sun to shine in my Green Hill mountain home. Where my darling walks the woods alone, on the soft brown carpet of the pines, cloudy-eyed from the sorrow she has known, in my Green Hill mountain home. Well, wandering so far from home, wandering so alone. When I'm walking through the twilight of a long, dreary day, and my life weighs like a burden on my soul, then I dream of a meadow way up in the mountains so high, and my love breathing softly by my side. Where the sunlight sparkling through the trees brings a glowing into every day. That is where my weary road must lead to my Green Hill mountain home. Well, thank you. It's good to be back here on day 2 of the amazing Nowoodstock Music Festival that was started by our brave leader, Pat O'Brien, many, many years ago, and now the baton is passing on to Kurt. And we have such a wonderful crew here. The sound people are amazing. It's Jeff running sound back there, and his man, Steve. And then Chris is here helping out with that, and it's just great to be here. So how about that Rooster guy, huh? He was great, terrific, wasn't he? I used to have a drummer like that in my band where I was playing, but I had to fire him. He was drinking too much. That was just a joke. It was me. You're a tough crowd this morning. You guys haven't had your coffee yet. I think there's some right back there. I'm going to play an old song. This isn't an old song that I wrote, but it's an old song that someone wrote. Back from the Napoleonic Wars, this is called The Gal I Left Behind. And I'm lonely since I crossed that hill o'er the moor and valley. The lonely thought my heart has filled since parting with my Sally. And I'll seek no more the finer gay, for each one does remind me how quick the hours did pass away, girl I left behind me. And I never will forget that night. Stars were bright above me, and underneath their silver light she swore she'd always love me. And now I'm bound for Brighton camp, hope that heaven guides me safely to the arms again, girl I left behind me. And I'm lonely since I crossed that hill o'er the moor and valley. The lonely thought my heart is filled since parting with my Sally. And I'll seek no more the finer gay, for each one does remind me how quick the hours did pass away, girl I left behind me. Thank you. Boy, what a beautiful day in Intense Sleep, isn't it? I'm from Cody, and after circling around different places in the country, I've ended up back in Cody again, given a nod to the cyclical nature of things. We've just been having a beautiful summer up there. I was expecting it to be hot like it was last summer. It's been wonderful like this. I don't want to jinx anything though, but so far so good. This is one I wrote for my little dog Sophie, who's sadly no longer with us. That's the deal that you make with dogs, is that you have them for a while and then they move on. But this is one I call The Little Brown Dog. Thank you. Hey, where's my whiskey gun? Years ago, I moved, when I graduated from high school, I picked up and moved to Boston for a few years to go to school at Berklee College of Music. And it was, for a young kid that grew up in Wyoming, there could have been no more of a shocking experience. But it was actually a wonderful experience. I met some of the best people I've ever met in my life during that time. There's a guitarist named Pete Huttlinger who was my best friend at college, and we used to busk down at the Harvard stop, and he was playing banjo during that time, although if you don't know who he is, he became a international fingerstyle guitar champion, and he played with John Denver's band for many years. Kind of became Nashville royalty, but back then he was just my buddy that we used to play in the subways together. And we had a great time doing that sort of stuff. It was also during that time that a friend of mine, one of my roommates, turned me on to Tony Rice. And I went there to study jazz music, but at the time Tony Rice was playing. That was during the time that all that David Grisman stuff was going on in Tony Rice unit, and they were sort of playing jazzy music that sounded like bluegrass, and that sort of got me in the back door to the bluegrassy stuff. So Tony became a big influence on me. And my other favorite guitar player back then, once I got into that music, was Norman Blake. And Norman was another one of the giant flat-picking guitar heroes of the time. And so imagine my delight when Tony Rice came out with an album called Church Street Blues, where he was playing a Norman Blake song. So that's one of my favorite records of all time, Church Street Blues by Tony Rice, playing a song by Norman Blake. And that's what I'm going to play for you now. Well, I've been hanging out of town, Lord, in this low-down rain. Watching Good Time Charlie Friends is driving me insane. And up on shady Charlotte Street, the green lights are red. Wish I was back home on the farm, Lord, in my feather bed. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. I found myself a picker friend, read yesterday's news, folded up page 21, stuck it in my shoe. Gave a nickel to the poor, my good deed for the day. Wadded up my old billfold and threw it far away. And I got myself a rocking chair to see if I could lose these thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. If I had some guitar strings, that old Black Diamond brand, I'd string up this old Martin box and go and join some band. But I guess I'm gonna sit right here, play and sing a while, Give some folks a little change, make these folks a smile. And I got myself a rocking chair, see if I could lose these thin dime, hard time, hell on Church Street blues. Thank you. Salute yourself. Oh, okay. Toast. Well, I want to thank our good friend Jason from Wyoming Whiskey. He sent me up just a little morning. Actually, it's afternoon, so it's okay. But I'm not gonna pull a Jerry Jeff Walker on you up here. I'm just gonna have a little taste. Mighty fine. If you heard my set last night, I had the honor of opening the festival. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. You heard me talk a little bit about Chuck Pyle, who is a very dear friend of mine and Colorado singer-songwriter. And I met Chuck up in Cody when he did a concert there years ago. And it was a house concert, and I was struck by his unique guitar style, which a lot more people are doing it now, but back then hardly anyone was, where he would kind of get this thumb thing going like this, and then this kind of a loping sort of a rhythm, and then he'd fill in things in between, you know, that sort of thing. And then he would play all these wonderful, intricate melodies along with it, and I was very moved by both that and his songwriting. He was one of the most unsung songwriters, pun intended, that I know of. And I consider Chuck Pyle to be maybe a songwriter in the same realm as a Paul Simon or someone like that, but just not really known by a lot of people, which is a shame. But I'll play at least one of his songs today, maybe two. But this is one he wrote about the life of Crazy Horse, or the legend of Crazy Horse. And as legend went, Crazy Horse couldn't be killed in battle. He was impervious to gunshots, and he could change the weather and rain down lightning on his enemies. And according to this particular legend, there's a lot of them about his life, but according to this one, when he finally was killed by the army, they divided his body into 7 different pieces and buried it hundreds of miles apart so he could never come back and haunt them again. Makes a great legend. I don't know if it's true, but it's a great song that Chuck wrote. And this is called My Grandpa's Hands. My grandpa rode this yellow plane, told the sky when to make it rain, and told the lightning how to turn the night into the day. And he would make the cloud ships form, and he'd escape into the storm, then reappear, striking fear in the heart of every soldier. South the Rocky Ford, on a sea of sand and grass, no sign of island or shore. There lies the grave of my grandpa's hands. And when he let them have their way, they divided him 7 different ways. So afraid were they he would rise up again to strike him down. 7 different soldiers acting alone, 7 different graves, whereabouts unknown. And one lone soldier came to bury his hands out in the grasslands south of Rocky Ford, on a sea of sand and grass. No sign of island or shore. There lies the grave of my grandpa's hands. A quarter moon rose out of time on a vanishing point down an old fence line, sweetgrass and timothy. As far as you can see, Comanche grasslands south of Rocky Ford, on a sea of sand and grass. No sign of island or shore. There lies the grave of my grandpa's hands south of Rocky Ford, on a sea of sand and grass. No sign of island or shore. There lies the grave of my grandpa's hands. Thank you. Chuck liked to tune his 6th string down to D for a lot of these songs. Other than that, it was kind of standard tuning. And actually, if you like that guitar style of his, I actually did a book. As I mentioned, he came up to my house in Cody, and we spent a couple of days videotaping him playing his songs. And over the course of the next year, I transcribed the songs and put them into a book for him. It's called Keeping Time with Chuck Pyle. I brought some with me. I think quite a few of them sold. I might have one left over there. But all of the songs are transcribed in that book. And as time progressed, he became kind of known as the Zen Cowboy. Yeah, he wrote a lot of happy songs about everyone getting along. But in his early days, he wrote some stuff that was maybe a little darker. And I liked both of those eras. This one is one from that early time, a song about a jealous husband. It's called Horses on the Highway, which is a metaphor for things really aren't okay. Passed your other lover on the road last night, so close I brushed his sleeve. Had that same reaction, did not throw down, didn't want to bring him the relief. 1 + 1 + 1 other makes 3. Is such a painful way to be. Either you're with him or you're with me. Got to set one of us free. Horses on the highway, fences down to the wire. Horses on the highway, ain't no fence in desire. Cupid took a shot, divided by the sun into two separate sides. One side was light, the other was dark. Darkest part of my mind. One's the sun and one's the moon, it merely shines. Everything in the sky is not divine. Either you're his or you're mine. Got to be just one kind. Horses on the highway, fences down to the wire. Horses on the highway, ain't no fence in desire. Sure as the sun rises in the sky, my rider's by my side. Gonna make a run up to Ohio. Wanna come along for the ride. Somebody's steady rolling man, don't want nobody's second hand. If you've been making other plans, better find a safe place to stand. Horses on the highway, fences down to the wire. Horses on the highway, ain't no fence in desire. Horses on the highway, some were meant to roam. Horses on the highway, far away from home. Thank you. Appreciate it. A few years back, I did a record with a fiddle player that I was working with a lot back then. And this song came out of that project. This is one of my songs called Subatomic Traces. Rising in the hour before the dawn, while I put the coffee on, I'm still dreaming of you. Walking alone down quiet streets, feeling empty, incomplete, 'cause I'm still looking looking for you. Well, is there something viewing old familiar places from your time here? Are there subatomic traces I can feel? I can feel. I can somehow feel close to you again. And I can feel somehow close to you again. Oh. One time when my life seemed so in vain, in a moment filled with grace, I found you waiting, waiting for me. These days I don't find you anymore, like there's some enchanted door where I can't follow and I have to remain. But is there something viewing old familiar places from your time here? Are there subatomic traces I can feel? I can feel. I can somehow feel close to you again. I can feel somehow close to you again. Oh. Well, is there something of you in old familiar places from your time here? Are there subatomic traces I can feel? I can feel. I can somehow feel close to you again. I can feel somehow close to you again. Oh. Thank you. I love the folk history of America. The Woody Guthries and Pete Seegers and people like that. And they kind of brought the early part of our country alive for us through song. There was a great folk revival in the 60s, 50s, 60s. Kind of began with Pete Seeger and people like that and sort of ended with Bob Dylan. Still, there's a great undertow of it now, a rebirth of it. But a lot of it's based on American history and American stories and myths. And I love this one it's about, I don't know who it's by. That's a lot of these songs, the authors are lost or they've been rewritten so many times that nobody really knows who the original writer was. But it's a story of courage and heart. And it's the story of John Henry, who was a railroad worker and was being replaced by a machine. A story that still resonates today, I think. And so this is called John Henry. When John Henry was about 3 days old, sitting on his papa's knee, Well, he picked up a hammer and a little piece of steel. He said, this'll be the death of me, oh Lord. This hammer be the death of me. Now the captain came to John Henry. Gonna bring that steam drill around. Gonna bring that steam drill out on the job. I'm gonna whoop that steel on down, oh Lord. We're gonna whoop that steel on down. Now John Henry said to the captain, well, a man is nothing but a man. But before I let that steam drill beat me down, I'm gonna die with this hammer in my hand, oh Lord. I'm gonna die with this hammer in my hand. Now John Henry's hammering on the mountain. His hammer was striking fire, but he worked so hard that he broke his poor heart. He laid down his hammer and he died, oh Lord. Laid down his hammer and he died. Now that man who invented the steam drill thought he was mighty fine, but John Henry drove it for 15 feet. Steam drill only made it 9, oh Lord. That steam drill only made it 9. Now John Henry had a little baby. Hold him in the palm of your hand. But the last thing I heard that poor boy say, my daddy was a steel driving man, oh Lord. My daddy was a steel driving man. Thank you. Here's a song from our sister state just to the south. I came as a young man, refugee from the plain, looking for higher ground where the sun shines through the rain, where the mountain folks and the old cowpokes found a peace of mind. I guess loving Mother Nature makes you naturally kind. Colorado, everywhere I go, I'm in your shadow. You're calling to me, Colorado. The sun melts the snow, makes a river flow to the sea. say goodbye to Denver and out across the divide. The last day of September, it's a fine day for a ride. It's a Buena Vista morning, Durango afternoon. Round a Mesa Verde campfire, I'll be humming this tune. Colorado, everywhere I go, I'm in your shadow. You're calling to me, Colorado. The sun melts the snow, makes the river flow to the sea. There's a warm winter sun in the window of your car. Now do you know where you are? Colorado. And everywhere I go, I'm in your shadow. You're calling to me, Colorado. The sun melts the snow, makes the river flow to the sea. Thank you. Here's one from across the pond, The Leaving of Liverpool. Now my ship is sitting in the harbor of love. How I wish I could remain, for I'm thinking it's gonna be some long, long time till I see you again. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving Liverpool that's a grieving me, but my love, when I think of thee. I've signed aboard a Yankee clipper ship. Davy Crockett is her name, and a man named Burgess is her captain. They say that she's a floating shame. So fare thee well, my own true love. When I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's a grieving me, but my love, when I think of thee. So fare thee well, my own true love, thy return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's a grieving me, but my love, when I think of thee. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that's grieving me, but my love, when I think of thee. Thank you. I learned to play guitar from my mom originally. We had an old Sears Silvertone sitting around the house, and when I had a ukulele when my hands were too small for the guitar, and then later, when I got a little bit older, she taught me just some easy chords, and we used to sit and sing folk songs together. And when I moved away to Boston as a young man to go to school, she didn't understand that. She grew up on a small farm in North Dakota, and then we were in Wyoming, and she thought why would a young man want to go off to the city like that? But this was always my favorite song, or her favorite song rather, that I recorded. It's called A Homestead on the Farm. Well, I wonder how the old folks are back home. I wonder if I miss them when they roam. And I wonder if they pray for the boy who went away, left his dear old parents all alone. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. You could almost see the fields of bluegrass green. You could almost hear them cry when they kissed their boy goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are back home. Just a village and a homestead on the farm, and a mother's love to keep you from all harm, and a sweetheart brave and true, a place we hold so dear. Just a village and a homestead on the farm. You could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. You could almost see the fields of bluegrass green. You could almost hear them cry when they kissed their boy goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are back home. could hear the cattle lowing in the lane. You could almost see the fields of bluegrass green. You could almost hear them cry when they kissed their boy goodbye. I wonder how the old folks are back home. Thank you. That's from my mom. I think the reason Pat O'Brien and I always got along so well was that my mother's maiden name was McGinty, and so I'm at least half Irish. I don't know what my dad was. Troxel. I think, sounds like a drug you would take for depression. But I always liked those Irish fiddle tunes, and I met a wonderful Irish fiddler at the camp I taught years ago down in Colorado, the Colorado Roots Music Camp, which takes place over 9,000 feet up above the mountains, up above Colorado Springs, up by Cripple Creek. I remember running up to we were going to do a faculty concert one night, and I left a capo or something up at the instructor's cabin. I ran all the way up to the cabin and got it and came back, and I don't think I caught my breath for the rest of the night. 9,000 feet is tough. You shouldn't be running at 9,000 feet unless you're a Sherpa. But anyway, I don't know how I got off on that tangent. I sometimes do that. My wife says, "Jeff, you're falling out of the tree." But here's an Irish fiddle tune. That's where I was going with this. I met a wonderful fiddler named Rose Flanagan, and we got a chance to play together. She's a wonderful Irish fiddler from New York. And we played this song together on the concert, and I've loved it ever since. I recorded this on I think, my second album, Dancing in the Flame. This is called St. Anne's Reel. Thank you. I think I got time for a couple more songs. Getting close to the end of it. I'll be back on stage again this afternoon, or actually this evening, I think, around 6:30, somewhere in there, with Alana Hayden. She's a wonderful jazz singer that lives in Billings now, but originally from New York. And her guy, who is a Billings native, Mike, moved to this area back during the pandemic. And she's created a lot of work up in that area, up in all of Montana and parts of Wyoming for a lot of musicians. She's one of the hardest working musicians I know. I hope you'll stick around and hear her. She's terrific. And there's a lot of other great music during the day as we go forward as well. Here's one I learned from Tim O'Brien. And I try to travel around with less and less, trying them all in the simple ways the best. I save a lot of time not having to choose what color shirt to wear, which pair of shoes. I don't need a guitar to sing my song. Wherever I land, I always get along. I've traveled up and down this road a time or two, I guess. Now it's time to travel around with less and less. And I had a woman once who was not my wife. I spent a long time on the road of life. Carried that weight and almost broke my back. Nearly lost the ones I love getting back on track. I wasted a lot of time and I still feel the pain. Made a vow I'd never go through that again. I've traveled up and down this road a time or two, I guess. Now it's time to travel around with less and less. Well, it's coffee in the morning, a little wine at night. Meal somewhere in the middle, I think I'll be alright. I've got a smile, I've got my pride to greet the day. Got a friend or two to help me through when I lose my way. Don't need a guitar to sing my song. Wherever I land, I always get along. I've traveled up and down this road a time or two, I guess. Now it's time to travel around with less and less. Thank you. I told Jalon last night that my MO for doing concerts is to start slow and then kind of taper off. And so I'm going to hand you gently into the arms of the next musical act. I was going to end with something fast like that, but this is one I'm hoping to record on my next project. This is called John of Dreams. When midnight comes, people homeward tread. Seek now your blanket and your feather bed. Home comes a rover, his journey's over. Yield up the nighttime to old John of Dreams. Yield up the nighttime to old John of Dreams. Across the hill, the sun has gone astray. Tomorrow's cares are many dreams away. The stars are flying, your candle's dying. Yield up the darkness to old John of dreams. Yield up the darkness to old John of dreams. When sleep it comes, the dreams are running clear. The hawks of morning cannot reach you here. Time is a river, rolls on forever, and for your boatman, choose old John of dreams. And for your boatman, choose old John of dreams. And time is a river, rolls on forever, and for your boatman, choose old John of dreams. And for your boatman, choose old John of dreams. Thank you all so very much. You've been wonderful to play for, and I hope to see you later on this afternoon. Thank you very much.
Jeff Troxel, everybody, one more time.
So kind, thank you.
I told you he was masterful. Well done, Jeff. And we'll see him back with Ilana pretty soon.